We just saw Kill the Messenger, and on this show, I take my friends, we go see a movie, we do a review in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're on the fence and trying to decide if this is the movie for you, watch that first half. If you've already seen the movie or don't really care about spoilers and that sort of stuff, go ahead and watch the whole thing, because we'll get into more of that as we get toward the end. Kill the Messenger is a really, really well-done movie. It's a political potboiler. You've got Jeremy Renner playing a news reporter. It's based on a true story that the government was complicit in essentially funding Contra fighters in Nicaragua and basically trying to keep control of Central America under Reagan during a time when Reagan couldn't get Congress to do that sort of above board. So there's they talk a lot about how sort of as a result of that, the crack epidemic became much more of a issue, and that money was going back to paying basically to keep American control, CIA control of Central America, to keep it away from the Soviets. And it's a really well acted, really well done movie. Lots of cameos from fairly good actors, but it's really Jeremy Renner's movie, and he really does a great job with it. I won't talk about the ending in the review portion, but I would say that if the movie sounds intriguing to you and the subject matter sounds interesting, I would say that this is probably a good movie to go and see. I don't know that you would lose anything by not seeing it in the theater, and it's not playing very many theaters around here, but definitely I would say it's something that's worth streaming or renting when you get the chance to. What'd you think?
I could echo a lot of things you just said. I thought it was really very well acted. I thought the screenplay was pretty good. Obviously, they're basing a lot of this on true stories, and so they're going to dramatize that a little bit. But I don't think that they overdid that per se. They made it work as a movie, and they incorporated some footage that was from the 80s and 90s to kind of justify that, this actually did happen and this is a true story. And part of the theme of the movie, too, or like kind of the feeling I got of like why it was made was like this is sort of one example of controversy, or like a controversial story that was denied and then kind of, for a long time, and then it was, okay, they said that they did do it, they did have some involvement, there was government involvement with, the Iran-Contras and with selling, trafficking drugs to the inner cities, particularly in Los Angeles, and like kind of having, the crack epidemic in the United States, and that being a ripple effect of relations overseas. And I think it's cool that they're talking about this kind of thing now, but the implication is that there's a lot of other stuff like this that happens that is unknown or lesser known. And I even kind of thought going into this movie that it was a better known story than it actually is. Because with the way that they kind of wrap everything up, they still talk about how, again, without spoiling anything in the credits, they talk about something else that happened in history that sort of distracted everybody from, being too concerned about it as a news story. Or like something else major happens, and then something that was a big story, a week or two ago is old news, even if it's important. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, like, subplot or theme of the movie. But what they were mostly going for, I think they accomplished, and they were able to do a lot more than just tell the direct story. I thought there were a lot of cool nuances to it, and inferences and subplots. So yeah, I recommend it. I also think there's not much that you'll gain from seeing it in the theater. There's not like huge action sequences or anything like that that warrant like a big screen viewing. But if it's something that you don't really want to, if you're really interested in the subject matter and you don't want to wait for it to be streaming or on DVD or Blu-ray, then yeah, I'd say it's a good movie to go see right now.
Yeah, it's a good engaging movie, and I would say that it's something too that it would probably be it's probably more enjoyable the way I saw it, which was I didn't know very much about the story. I didn't really know much about the actual facts and the actual events. If I did know kind of, how things were going to twist and turn or what the ending was, I don't think I would have found it quite as interesting. But the suspense of trying to figure out what's going to happen is really good. So that's the review part. If that sounds like a good thing for you to watch, it sounds like something you would like, go check that out. Getting into the discussion thing, it took a little while to figure out and I might have missed it, like the date stamp or anything like that, but it basically, the movie takes place pretty much in 1996. They talk about Clinton being on the campaign trail, and they're using computers that are, not from 1992. They're using, post Windows 95 stuff. So they don't really tell you exactly when it is, but it seems to be taking place during 1996 for the most part. And a lot of the stuff that they show in the trailer, like normally when you see a trailer about kind of a political thriller or something like this, you get maybe one or two lines that are from late in the movie that are sort of the "excuse me, whoa, what happened" kind of things. With this one, it was like it was spread all throughout the movie. Like there weren't things in the trailer that the trailer didn't end after the first act, which is kind of weird, but it worked out okay. There were a lot of characters that I thought were going to be a bigger part of the story that really weren't. The guy that was that guy from The Wire that was like Ricky Ross or whatever his name is.
Yeah, the guy that I said that is always playing that role. Like he's always typecast.
He was Omar on The Wire. I can't remember the actor's name. But I thought from the previews and then from when they started talking to him that he was going to be a bigger part of the story. And really, like, even the rest of the newscast isn't that big, or the news desk isn't that big of a part in the movie. Like, Oliver Platt's kind of there. His editor's kind of there. There's just a lot of supporting cast, and they're all good at what they do. They do a good job of grounding his family out.
Yeah, but I did think it was funny how he has like a kid that is a character in the movie, and then a few other kids that are just sort of there, that they don't really bother with developing because it's like too much or whatever.
No, this is the kid that's old enough to hear what's really happening, and the other kids are not.
But they don't even have like lines, or they don't like do much of anything.
They have lines. They just don't. They're not part of the actual plot of the movie.
Fair enough.
They're his kids that say goodbye to him and Merry Christmas, Daddy, and shit like that. But he's got a son that's like, that's a big part of the movie. It's another interesting spin that they put on it, is that he and his wife have kind of a rough. They're in an okay spot, but they've had kind of a rough time because he cheated on her, and the woman that he cheated with committed suicide, and that's what caused them to move to San Jose, or the California area, the San Jose Mercury News area. So it's this interesting thing where they take his son, and his son is the one that says the things that you'd expect the wife to say in a movie. Like, he's the one that says, I'm disappointed in you, or I'm proud of you, or, he's sort of the emotional mirror for Jeremy Renner's character, whereas the wife is more her role is more subdued, but she also has that additional baggage of, you know, I already followed you into hell, so we're, you know, it's more of an interesting thing. Plus, it's also more of a, like, his son's kind of him, like a younger version of him. They're both interested in the same things, and they have the same integrity, and
Yeah.
they
There's
like
a
to
lot
fix
of
bikes.
a lot of Triumph bikes and cars in this movie, if that's your thing. So that's kind of cool.
But anyway, it was a good flick. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a little bit on the long side, but that wasn't a bad thing. It was interesting all the way through. So that's our review of Kill the Messenger. Please like our video if you like the way we do these reviews. Subscribe on YouTube and check out both the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com for all the movies that we go see. And thanks for watching.
Bye.